And what do you think's the best part about being a mortgage advisor?
Yeah. So the way I see the life of a mortgage advisor is it's not a standard employment because you gotta first of all it's a commission based, or because the more you work, the more money you can get. I like that feeling. And secondly, and you have more autonomy to manage your pace of your work.
Yeah.
And so it's a target driven work. I like that environment, and then I can innovate myself to find my own ways to achieve those targets.
Yeah. I'm Andrew, and this is Yan, and this is Mortgage HQ podcast, and we're interviewing him today because I want to share what it's like being a mortgage advisor at Mortgage HQ, and hopefully inspire the next generation of advisors. Maybe you're already out there as an advisor now and thinking about going elsewhere, or you're thinking about a financial advisory pathway for yourself. So welcome, Yan. You're a top advisor in the making. How long have you been a mortgage advisor now?
I think this is my third year.
Third year. You started with another firm and then
Yeah.
came along and joined us, how long ago? About 2 years ago now?
About 2 years ago.
Yeah. And you've been really flying in the last 12 months. And certainly I saw your last quarter, you settled around 20 million or a little bit more than 20 million?
25 mil.
25 million. Don't let me cut you short. And you're hoping to do around 30 million of settlements this quarter.
Yeah.
You're an investor in the property side of things, and I've seen you running around with your daughter. You're a family man, and you've worked abroad, and we're gonna talk about each of those things. So, I'd like to start with how being a mortgage advisor, financial advisor, has shaped your investing. How do you think about it?
Yeah. So, because when I started my investment journey, it was like 10 years ago. I wasn't in this funding sector.
Yeah.
I was like a general employment.
Yeah.
And I did like blindly. I do what I knew. I do what I could from my limited knowledge, understanding, and then throughout the journey, which maybe we'll cover later, and I realized that for me to do it properly, to get an understanding of the back end of the funding part is essential, and so I started to do this. I then found it's absolutely a great idea.
Yeah.
So not just for me to financially making money, but also for me to be a proper financial property investor, get more information, know how to do it, learn from the peers, and learn from other guys, and this is how I see this role can help me to do better investments.
Yeah. And what do you think's the best part about being a mortgage advisor?
Yeah. So the way I see the life of a mortgage advisor is it's not a standard employment because you gotta first of all it's a commission based, or because the more you work, the more money you can get. I like that feeling. And secondly, and you have more autonomy to manage your pace of your work.
Yeah.
And so it's a target driven work. I like that environment, and then I can innovate myself to find my own ways to achieve those targets.
Yeah. I mean, being on an uncapped role it's so great for somebody that's driven and talented, because you really can make 500,000 a year if you want.
Yeah.
If you're willing to put in the work and you generate that momentum. So
Right.
What do you think's the hardest part or worst part about being a financial advisor at the moment?
Yeah, so it's the most harder one is the starting point. The starting point. Well, when I say starting point is like it's to relate to where you start. Talking about my journey was because everyone or most people know employ like a mortgage advisor like a one-man band. You need to start from a self-employment role. It's quite easy. You get people mortgage done, and you got a good channel of commission. The next one, and looks everyone life is good. Everything's like that, but actually, it's not exactly like that. That's comes later stage. Maybe you see a more matured mortgage advisor, they will have that life in that way. But when you start, you have no client, and you might have some networking, but you'll see that you're gonna use all those resources very quickly, and then you have no pipeline to build. So, really to find a right company to work with to start with, that's very, very important.
Yep.
Typically, when you are new in the industry, there's no reputation. So if you start from a company who have a brand there, that's help a lot. That's actually what I found that make the big difference when I for the first year, I started from my own, and versus when I joined Mortgage Q, the big difference is from the pipeline, from the brand, from the people. People know the brand first and know about you, then
Yep.
like you, then like the brand. So things like that. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
you start to build a pipeline, get referrals. Yeah. Then things become easier and easier. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing that I've noticed with you coming into Mortgage HQ as already having been an advisor is there was a lot of things that you had to unlearn and then learn a different way.
Correct. That's
And
another way.
You've been able to, over the last couple of years, develop a lot faster into being a real senior advisor with a lot of knowledge and skills because you've been working in a big team with lots of other people and you can see how they do it as well.
Yeah.
So what do you think makes a successful financial advisor?
I think to be a successful financial advisor is that you need to have the knowledge, and the knowledge is you can only learn that from practicing. So the knowledge for me that is not defined by you completing the level 5 or doing article like you're reading news and is actually practicing it.
Yeah.
So and then you can actually properly advise people because you have done it or you are in the loop. So and secondly you do need to care for the client's goal because the advisor what we do is to understand client's goal and then based on our job we find a way to help the client to achieve the goal. So that's the most important. So we need to know what's the client's intention and to help them achieve that. That's why they turn to you instead of then going around bushes and they can't find a way, but they turn to you. So that's very important. Yeah.
Yep, caring and knowledge, and I'd say one thing that you've been doing really well is that volume. It's good to have lots of inquiries, and we certainly do.
Yeah.
But those people don't call themselves. You got to pick up the phone and call lots of people and see who's ready to take action and engaged. So I think you're doing that really well. What do you think are your most important investments to date? You've got property locally. What are you thinking about?
Yeah, I think because I'm originally I'm from China, and Chinese love properties, and so when I came here, immediately I think the most important thing I need to do in this country is to buy my first home. Yeah. Luckily, I did it, and I bought my first home. And then I thought this is it. And then I need to look at my business side and the other stuff. But then I made probably the most important move of my whole life, my life in New Zealand, is that I decided to continue to invest. So at that time, I had some cash and I got good income. So I bought 3 units in Auckland.
Oh yeah,
and which turned out to be a very good investment, not just for money, but also for knowledge. I can talk about later as well. So I bought it I bought my first house in 2014, and the rental properties all happened in 2015, and then I kind of stopped, because I didn't know there's actually I can create wealth from property investing. I thought I spend all what I can borrow from money, and that's it. And then if I could do it again, I knew I should have keep investing, but I stopped. But because I didn't have the knowledge at that time, and but even though like that, luckily, and just before COVID, and because financially I was in trouble, I was running a business which didn't make him money, and I have debts I need to pay it off, so I had to sell, and I had to sell in the worst time, which is just before COVID. Everyone knows what's happening. The property price was dipped, and I sold it at that worst time. Even though I sold at that time, I still managed to pay off all my mortgages and also my business debts.
Yeah.
So which is not bad, Though I wasn't quite happy. 6 months later, I found that if I sold at that time, I can make another $500,000. So bugger. But But at the end, it still helped me to get through those difficulties. So I think that's turned out to be a very wise decision at that time. And it's a good investment.
In terms of advising people through the emotional and financial side of things, you've been there.
Yeah.
You can certainly understand when people are going through that tough time, or got to make a decision about what to do next. And
correct.
That's why you're doing so well. So, investment goals. I'm guessing you've had a kind of little bit of a reset, but you've been building up again over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
What are you hoping to get to?
So I'm hoping to buy another 10 properties in the next 5 years.
Oh yeah.
And so that, because the mortgage, we have a theory of a mortgage life cycle. I would like to get in that stage and then restructure my mortgage and portfolio to generate passive income. And also, I'm looking to probably do one small development in Auckland, and which is the home I purchased 10 years ago. I'm going to develop that, and so this is my plan. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, man. And
yeah,
if you want to be borrowing lots of money to buy investment properties, you need to get your income up, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And consistent.
yeah,
So investment philosophies, I'm sure they've been shaped a lot by what you've done and experienced in the last few years, and with
Yeah.
what you're learning here.
yeah,
What are your investment philosophies?
yeah. One reason I came to join this company, Mortgage Q, is that because I watched lots of you and Blended video before I joined. I those it was the first time at that time I realized that what I have done before 10 years ago was right.
Yeah.
Because we need to buy more assets and the capital gain, then shuffle and keep on doing that, and so I think my philosophy is actually I believe in properties in New Zealand and then making those affordable move to start with what you can,
Yep.
and but initially you need to have a very clear strategy, and then going forward because there's lots of different types of residential investment here. I think every type is good if you have a appropriate strategy to fit in there. I'm not against any one of those kind of deal as long as you have a certain strategy.
Yeah.
So for me, my strategy is to buy cash flow positive investments and incrementally create wealth and then waiting for another cycle.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty
Yeah,
easy.
and there's certainly people at the moment talking about another cycle coming soon. When is the bottom? When is the top? No one really knows for sure. Now, when people ask me what I think the property market's doing, I think, look, I don't really know, but I'm sure that in 20 years the properties will be worth a lot more than they are now.
Yeah.
So if you get the debt today or as soon as possible, that debt shouldn't grow, but the values of the property will. And so that's how you get your equity gain.
Yeah.
So in terms of investments you're most proud of or investments you've never had done, you want to talk a little about that?
Yeah. Because the last year I bought 3 other properties in the regional area.
Yeah.
I was quite proud of those moves because I don't actually know those places very well.
Whereabouts are they?
Yeah, there's 2 in Hastings and the one in Whanganui.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to be honest though, I have never been to the places. Even through the purchase process, I've never been, physically view these places.
Yeah.
And the reason why I dared to do that is because also my experience before, because those 3 property back again, the 3 property I bought in Auckland, although I inspected in person, then ended up finding lots of leaky problem. I fixed it. So now I realize that working in the industry again, you need to have a team that you trust. That's essential, and everyone have limits in their knowledge. I'm not a builder. I can only see from their parents say, oh, this looks good, looks bad, but
it gives you false hope.
Yeah, false hope. So I rely on the professionals that I know through Mortgage Q. We have very good referral, like in networking, and I know those guys do a way better job than I do, and also because my strategy is not complicated one, I'm not doing those like sophisticated like investments. So I trust that through those networking, I can find a good builder, good manager, good finder to do the job for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So your strategy for those properties was using a property buyer.
Yeah.
Got it under contract, and in terms of negotiating, they did that for you as well.
Correct.
Yep. So they brought you the property and the price, and they said yes or no, you want it.
Correct. Just because those deals are already filtered, and then it's exactly what I want in terms of numbers.
Yep.
Then I just need to kind of like cherry pick, but I look at the things that I do my own checks. Yeah.
So what sort of properties are you recommending to first-time investors?
Okay, very good question. To identify a property, we have a 4 dimension. You have a look at you can chase capital gain, you can chase cash flow, You can do future add value, or it's something that you like personally, like a certain area. There's 4 dimensions you can choose. But for me, the most important part to start with would be cash flow.
Yeah.
Because that's the where you can, because what the first investment does is give you the confidence to moving forward. If you after capital, then most likely the cash flow won't be good. It might find something be good for both sides, but most likely won't have a strong cash flow. Then you might be, and also you haven't managed the tenants before. There will be some maintenance fees. There's other fees, and if you found like you need to keep spending through money into the deal to keep it in your pocket, then you might lose your confidence.
Yeah.
But actually, the properties for capital gain versus a property with cash flow, they are all good. You need to buy them in the right time. That's all.
Yeah.
And for example, when you have 1, 2, 3 cash flow properties, and you have a good income that time, then you can buy something with land banking or capital gain because you know it. Then you can afford to hold it. Then
the more income,
correct.
The more unused income you've got, the surplus income, the more you can focus on a capital gain strategy. But like that's not many people at the moment. If you've got a surplus that's enough only really to service a mortgage and you can't really carry a negative, then you have to look at those cash flow properties. And those cash flow properties are the ones that have value add potential. And there's plenty of good ones in the city areas and the smaller regional places.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking, and when you're talking to clients about getting closer to retirement, you're helping them focus on income or equity, or how do you get them to think about the future? Yeah,
so in terms of retirement, I think most of the people what they care is about when they retire, they need to have enough money to make sure that they can do what they can do. In Kiwis, we have a system, Kiwi Saver, to give us some money and also pension as well. But in many cases, that's not enough. So and property investing is kind of like a strong mitigant, or at least if most people probably they can't buy 10 or 8 properties in the end to create a real passive income for the. I mean, talk about probably that statistically that's naturally will come through. But at least if you know the strategy, you need to try. You need to start that, and then when you come to retirement age or retire early, then you have something there and to help your life there. So I think if you are not against property, the concept, then you should be doing this at least to get in there.
You even think about having $5,000 a year as passive income from your property investment. Extra $100 a week.
Yeah.
If you're just getting your pension and then an extra $100 a week, just because you had planned things a little bit better. If you can do 3 properties and get 15 grand passive a year, it's a couple $100 a week to help your family, your community, and
this actually reminded me a discussion that I had with my wife, and our strategy actually in terms of detail mindset is that we want to say have a few freehold rental properties, so each one have a catered space to spend. So one is for tuition for the kids, one for the holidays, and then one for something, so that I know those money is already there. I don't need to worry about that. So sounds kind of thing. It's quite funny, but it makes sense.
Yeah. And what lessons have you come away with from your mentors and coaches, and in the frame of being a financial advisor in the last couple of years?
I think to be a good financial advisor, it's the same as imagine you are going to army to be trained to be a good shooter. To be good, you need to have enough bullets, and you need to shoot 10,000 bullets per month, something like that. Otherwise, you won't. No matter how much you learn, you won't be able to be a good soldier. Same as an advisor, you need to have enough deals. Okay, for you to get enough deal, you need to make enough calls, and so you need to find a place where you can have those kind of resources for you to train yourself and also learn from here as well, and then improve. So here we talk about the 1% progress every day. You need to get on the system to enable you to do that.
Oh man, it's been a real privilege watching you grow into a top advisor, and I'm certainly looking forward to watching you break past that 100 million settlements a year. I think you'll get there soon. So, thanks, man. Anything else you want to add?
No, thank you. And yeah.
All good. You want to connect with Jan? You can find him on the website, and I'll put his details in the link. Thanks, man.
Okay.
Cheers.